Angry guy here, and men are abandoning women and moving to the woods. Men are abandoning women and moving to the woods. Today, I want to look at a comment from one of my subscribers, R. Rothschild. He says, at Angry Man, you mentioned the two guys living in a camper. Well, rent is so expensive because of things the Biden administration has done. And if women do not vote, he would not be in office. So they are victims of themselves. I am perfectly happy all the time. I live at my cabin and 5 acres that I bought with cash years ago. I have an outside hand pump for when there is electricity no more. It's just me because I retired from women about 3 years ago. I have no sympathy for these miserable women because anybody who says that I am trash is not getting any help or anything from me. America has a big crash coming, and it's going to be chaos and extreme homelessness. But I have my place in the country, and I am 46, and I had women from all ages until about 3 years ago approaching me and applying themselves to me. So I got to know the nature of women at a very young age. And I knew by my mid 20s there was no reason to plan on marriage and a family. Anyway, there are big things planned for America that are not good. How do I know? There's a big clue on my profile. And of course, it's likely reference to, the name of his channel right there. Guys, I want y'all to think about it very carefully about the direction that society is going in. Society is not going in a very good direction. Society is going in a terrible direction right now. And modern day women are just dancing in the chaos. I want y'all to look back at the dark ages and the things that happened in the dark ages. They were not the greatest of times. There are people who try to say, well, the dark ages weren't all that dark. There were things like architecture that, occurred in the dark ages. Like they built like chapels and big and monuments in the dark ages. So, and there were people still, getting an education during the dark ages. It was some dark times. Math and science were heavily lost during the dark ages. Were they still building stuff? Yes. Was it at the same magnitude of, let's say, the Roman Empire? No. Heck no. Things went absolutely horrible, and we got plunged into the dark ages after no fault divorces started in the Roman Empire. Women began divorcing their husbands, marrying gladiators. Men gave up on society, stopped serving in the military. The mercenaries started having to protect the country, the Roman Empire, because men no longer would do it. There was no money being produced by the Roman Empire. They couldn't pay the mercenaries. The mercenaries figured this out, plundered the empire. We got sunk into the dark ages for 1,000 years. 1,000 years of darkness. Think of it as living in caves again and eating eating squirrel meat. Bro, that's like some 200,000 years ago stuff. Okay? We This is how insane it was. And you literally had women dancing in the streets in the chaos. This is madness, guys. Absolute and utter madness. You have to remember, women thrive in chaos. This is one of the reasons why they instinctively create chaos, because they thrive in chaos. They do things that are counterintuitive to their own survival, but this is just how they operate. If men do not control the behavior of these people in society, then they will tear down society, and they will plunge us into darkness. The term agents of chaos, I don't believe, is inappropriate when looking at it from this caliber. It is an extraordinarily miserable thing that occurs if men do not stand up and say, yeah, we're not going to allow this. We're not going to tolerate it. And then you have the simps. The simps will never change. A simp cannot change because this is a part of their core nature. If you don't wake up and realize that this is the direction we're going in, that I don't know what's going to do it. Do you guys continuously hear the term, you will own nothing and be happy? This is essentially what we've been told. And do you know when it's supposed to really take off? 2030. By 2030, we will own nothing and we will be happy. And this is what we've been told over and over again. And they're trying to like backtrack it a little bit and say, oh, it's not exactly like that. Not to say that it's to say it means that there's going to be greater economic strides made, and equity, and the world is going to be a better place, and everyone will have a greater chance of participating in the global economy. And the World Economic Forum is distancing themselves from it, even though people who represent the World Economic Forum have been saying this. I mean, they put out a video. Prince Charles literally said this: you will own nothing and be happy. And this is the direction that we are literally heading in a future that we will literally own nothing. If you look at what technology is going right now, video games are now becoming all digital, and companies like Sony are snatching them away. They're snatching away your products. They're snatching away services that things that you purchase, and they're not even giving you refunds. Because what they're doing is they're basically saying that when you purchase a product, a digital product, you're not purchasing the actual item yourself. You're purchasing a license that can be revoked. And this is the game that they're playing now. And they're fine going to court. They're fine fighting it out in court because oh well, they get fined if at worst case. But this is the direction they're pushing, and they're basically they're gradually trying to get people to accept this notion that you will no longer own anything. You purchase a song, you don't own that song. You've purchased a license, and you'll have access to that song for maybe a certain number of years. And if you want to listen to that song again, then you'll have to purchase that license again. Or the better thing is to use a streaming service to listen to your music. So we will live in a world where so much will be lost. We will have access to nothing. You want to listen to music? Well, if you've been a good boy and good girls, then maybe you can listen to music. If you've been naughty, though, well, you won't be able to listen to Spotify. If you've been a good boy and obedient and done and you've done what you've been told, then maybe you can play PlayStation. If you've been naughty, no PlayStation for you. Oh, your video games don't work for you. They turn it off. They can turn off your internet. They can turn off your power. They can turn off, guys. This whole thing where we're moving towards electric stoves. Say what you want. Well, no more gasoline stoves. Oh, you've been bad. Okay, we'll just turn your power off. No food for you. Okay. And it's not just a matter of you've been bad. It's a matter of controlling things. So, for example, if they want to force you to buy things, oh well, the power is being finicky, so we have to limit the amount of electricity people can use. So now you're gonna have to order more Uber Eats, or you're gonna have to do this or that. This is the honest to goodness truth. You will own nothing. You will own absolutely nothing. And this is the direction that women in society, they've brought us, and they absolutely don't care. They don't care. I look at the comment. I look at this comment from R. Rothschild, and he makes so many interesting points in here. As you can see, this guy has moved out to the woods. He's moved out to the woods. He's chilling on his piece of land, which is something I recommend all guys do. Get a piece of land, have a cabin somewhere where you can pick up, take off, and go and live in peace. Learn some skills. That's one thing that bothers me a lot as a man. The fact that there's a lot of skill sets I didn't learn when I didn't learn growing up. Someone like me should never have been in school beyond high school. Beyond high school was a complete travesty for me. And most of the things I needed to learn, I, honestly, I could have, I would have learned by the time I was 2 years into high school at best, because by the time when you're in middle school, you learn algebra. You learn algebra in middle school. You learn algebra, and then that's pretty much it. After your algebra, you know, You don't really need much else. You can go on to calculus if you want to, but that's kind of it. And for a lot of people, I don't see the point of high school. I'm just being very honest. And people are like, well, there's important things in high school. You learn more about history and chemistry. You learn chemistry in middle school as well. You know, I'm just saying, like, how many of us actually use chemistry in the chemistry and advanced math in our everyday lives? Most of us don't. Once you get past basic arithmetic, you don't really use these things so much. Some people might say, well, what if you go into computer programming? What if you go into computer science? I have an extensive background in computer science. I can code. And I'm telling you right now, these are skill sets you don't need you don't even need high school for this. Like, I look at high school and I think to myself, what was the point? Like, literally, and the only truth is that it's about control and conformity, making you into a good employee. That whole educational system it has nothing to do with you teaching you how to learn, and everything about teaching you how to conform, how to be a good employee. You better be a good employee because it's conditioning you to go to work for 8 hours a day, to stay, or more, to sit in one place and do what you're told and perform a task repetitively over and over and over. What do you guys think regarding this? I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Men are abandoning women and moving to the woods. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.